Welcome, trendy people. It is another edition of Spring Trends right here on Western Spring Television, where we say it as it is. Right here on Spring Trends, we'll talk about everything trending. What's trending, who's trending, why they are trending, where are they trending, and reactions on social media. I am Evelyn Ohiolei, and I am your pilot for this morning. With me here is Captain Femi Ojo, who will be my co-pilot.
Yeah.
Also act as a host.
No. A captain or a co-pilot can act as whatever you want to mention. All right, good morning. It's good time to be here again to speak on this matter. I was trending, and you have always proposed that I trend someday, but I work on it very soon. But for the right reasons, by the way.
I already gave you a suggestion. You're not
that
just
suggestion is not good for me.
You just transfer
my age, my marital status.
Go tell the accountants that your next pay, even though your last name should be the one on it, and let them transfer your money into
you
my
might still keep quiet and not tell anybody.
No, I'm saying this on live TV. I won't.
Remind me by 2037.
You will trend more than Very Dark Man. You will trend more than Bobrisky.
This is a very fair man, yeah.
Well, let's get to work this morning, people. Our very first story today, we hear an engineer has raised an alarm that earthquake might hit Nigeria in the future due to skyrocketing number of boreholes. Reaction Reverse Truth says boreholes do not cause earthquakes. It's caused by seismic activities along fault lines. Most of Africa is sitting nicely on its own tectonic place. This is why we do not experience such natural disasters. These guys are looking for a way to regulate boreholes in order to tax us. And Oluwaseun says boreholes in Africa are unlikely to cause earthquakes, while human activities like mining or large-scale drilling may induce seismicity. Small-scale boreholes for groundwater extraction pose minimal seismic risk. And lastly, the reactions. This one is from K1. It says earthquake done this since now. No, just no. Okay, I don't know where I've seen that, but then very quickly, Femi,
okay.
Looking at
I get that.
looking at Reverse Truth tweet saying that boreholes can cause earthquakes. That maybe these guys are just looking for a way to regulate boreholes in order to tax us. But then I remember there was a time that borehole was not a thing in Nigeria, where people had water, the real tap water. I'm sure a lot of people right now have not experienced that. They just think the normal tap water is the one that gets connected to your storage. You understand? But there is one that comes in from the Ministry of Water Resources now, goes through that big large pipe into every home. And there are times, sometimes when I was young, there was time for it. I think in the evening, you are sure that
when you were younger.
Yeah, when I was younger, you were sure that between 4 to 8, water will be available. So everybody was ready to go fetch water at the time. Your thoughts?
I think there's the time for people in charge to come out and confirm or deny some of these things. There's need for us, and every agency is involved. Whenever something is going on, either it is right or wrong, especially if it's most likely not true, there should be a government agency that sees to that particular thing that should come up and confirm or deny before these rumors spread unnecessarily and cause panic. If that is the NOA, is that the Ministry of Environment, NIMET, or anybody, Ministry of Water Resources or whatever, to come out and say, this doesn't cause it, and it stays like that. When you're on top of a situation and you control the narrative with fact and proof, it will stop people from, forwarding messages that are not there. Instead of you waiting and people forward false messages and you come out later to do a damage control. Because of the trust deficit that we have between the people and the government, people would like to say, leave them, they're always lying. But be on top of the matter. An engineer has come out to say that doesn't happen. It's a different kettle of fish. And if it's about borehole, maybe the whole of Nigeria will have even sunk. But then this time for people that know, I don't know this, but this time for the people that know to come out and prove it and control the narrative that says, yes, it is true, or no, it is not true. That's what we should be. And as for the earthquake, that picture that you put, that was a group, they're a musical duo. that have been for long.
Okay.
You know, that's why people are saying earthquake. We have always had it.
Okay.
They don't do, not be today.
All right, you get the joke now. We'll move on to the next story this morning. And, you know, there have been concerns about why the Nigeria police cannot arrest cross-dresser Bobrisky because people feel that he is breaking a law, especially with the LGBTQ law. That is a law that is against the LGBTQ in Nigeria. But then let's watch this video and see the explanation given by the police why this shame cannot be arrested. All right, so we apologize that we couldn't bring you the audio to that video, but then that's the police spokesperson, Lumuyiwa Adejobi, saying that given the reason why they cannot arrest cross-dresser Bobrisky and others, saying that they are not really breaking a law because cross-dressing is not a crime in Nigeria. Reactions: Clinton Nelson says the police spokesman is absolutely right. There has to be concrete evidence against them, and he made it very clear that cross-dressing isn't a crime in the country. Earlier, Axton says Bob flaunts PDA with a fellow man on social media and admits to dating men. Isn't that incriminating evidence? And Chunky Barbie says, no, it is not. It is circumstantial at best. You need direct evidence of him having sex with a man plus the circumstantial evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that he has committed the offense. Reactions, Femi, what are your thoughts? I mean, this has put to rest some calls for Bobrisky to be arrested.
And many persons like him who are cross-dressers. I watched that news chart live yesterday, and the FPRO was like, cross-dressing, it is not legally a sin. It is not illegal. But what, however, is a sin is the penchant of those people who are cross-dressers to metamorphose into something else. That's the, being homosexuals. Then if you are found and you are proven, he even said it's not easy to prove that a cross-dresser, it adds something more to that because it's something very deep. You have to really confirm that that is what they have.
But Femi, there have been times where we hear this guy, Idris, that's his real name, by the way, say that he is into men, says that he's no longer a man, that he is a woman. In fact, he has his nickname, Mommy of Lagos. And he sometimes tells you that he has men that are his, guy friends. When I mean guy friends, intimate guy friends. Is that not enough evidence?
I think maybe, just maybe, whenever the police feels he has ticked the wrong boxes, maybe they will call for him and investigate. Or if there is a petition from somebody, to that effect, and he who petitions must prove, you must have facts, so that you just don't waste the time and resources of the Nigerian institutions. So it's as easy. So what he's saying is cross-dressing, if you choose to wear something that is conventionally belonging to other gender, is not a sin. But if you are going further more to say you are what you are not, if it can be proven, then that's what is a sin. But morally, it's a different kettle of fish. The moment people size you up and they see you in a particular form for whatever liberal nature or freedom you want to express, there is a law here in Nigeria. And morally, people always frown at those who do that because our laws, our values, our tradition doesn't support some of those behaviors.
Yeah, and the proliferation of these cross-dressers recently is alarming. I mean, you would see someone on Instagram and you're like, look at this beautiful girl. And before you know, you see that, no, this is a boy, this is a man.
That's the confusion, especially to young people.
That's the confusion. So I feel that should rein in, even though, although we know that cross-dressing isn't just a man into a woman thing. We have women who also wear comfortably men clothing, but people don't frown at it as much.
That's one area that you should explore.
As they do to the males.
For those people that, what they wear is whatever you term conventional to male. Okay, female wearing agbada.
So it's fashionable, it's fashion.
We don't really frown at it. It's when, men do it the opposite way that it seems. And so, it's really a delicate and difficult thing to really prove. If a guy will put on trousers, put on agbada, wear cap, and then dress in his bow tie, or dress in a certain way, wear shoes, and come out bouncing like a guy. So is that a cross-dressing as well?
It's called, that's cross-dressing.
Okay.
It is. It's just that people see that as fashionable and they don't frown
like
at
it's
it
not really
as much as woman. You know, these guys also go the extra mile of putting on makeup, wearing makeup on their face, wearing all the wigs and all. Yeah. And you're like, no, this is a woman. And like, no, he's a man. You know, the confusion that it creates. But then, like Femi said, morally, culturally, we frown at that in this part of the world. Moving on to my next story, which is my last one for today, just for the cruise. You know, this is spring trends, and we'll take it light, you know. This one says, what should a good wife do? Your husband rejects your food over a little misunderstanding and goes to bed hungry. As a good wife, what will you do? I feel it's so weird to ask Femi this question because he's not a woman, he's a man. But then I'll just ask him, what do you expect your wife to do as a good wife if, you know, you reject her food over a little misunderstanding and goes to bed hungry? Reactions, Nafisa says, hunger never catch him. If hunger strikes him, they will come eat the food. And Love Angel Vibes says, there's nothing I'll do. Why will you reject the food because of a little misunderstanding? If we cannot trash out our differences and allow it prolong, then we are not supposed to be together. As a good wife, actually, your husband will not reject your food because of misunderstanding, because you won't allow misunderstanding to prolong. Do not even serve him food when he is angry. Trash it out immediately unless you want to manipulate him. And Abuja podcaster at Ima's Doctor says the husband is asking for a divorce. Be that, what kind of behavior is that? And I should say this particular topic has been trending on social media. In fact, there was one I saw of a guy says, see, if we have a misunderstanding and I reject your food, don't lock the kitchen door, because know that by night I'll go back to eat the food. But personally, I don't think you should reject your wife's food because of a little misunderstanding. I mean, it should, you know, it's not supposed to reach that level now. Femi Alpha.
You know, let me speak with what I know, or at least with the experience so far. You know, and by the way, when we're having this conversation, let married people have the conversation. People that are not married, you don't know what's up. So
what are you saying? What are you saying?
Exactly.
Are you just throwing a jab? You just threw a jab at me right now.
No, not you. I'm just speaking to the
but I'm in that class. I'm in that category.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
On this matter, the thing is, let's speak to an ideal home.
All right.
Not dysfunctional home, not a home that is just there. An ideal home. If a man that doesn't have that habit, you know, that doesn't have that pattern, reject food because he is expressing a concern or a anger, the woman should worry. Because that's unusual. When something unusual happens in a lovely home, you should pay attention. It's not the time for you to say, when hunger catch you. No. If it degenerates to that level, that means something has been wrong. Something has been wrong. And possibly the woman is tired to say, I can't keep up with your pettiness. Whatever you want to do, do. But we are talking in an ideal home. The guy that is always running to get home and saying, you should give me more, this soup is good. And all of a sudden, he doesn't want to eat your food. You should care to ask him what is going wrong. But I'm not sure. The moment it becomes a pattern, then it becomes petty, and then somebody will lose that part. It's just like your woman to cooking, and all of a sudden, or doing something, or rejecting something that she would normally do, you know, or you give her money and you say you should hold your money, something. Women can be petty, you know. But usually, she was all serious. You should know that, oh, madam, waiting up now. Come here, let's discuss this matter in an ideal setting. We're not talking about dysfunctional. In a dysfunctional home, either semi-dysfunctional or largely dysfunctional, anything goes. So you don't have rule. There is no one rule that speaks to every marriage. You should just know the moment something goes wrong, which is not usual, you should pay attention. For the example of Mommy Z, she saw that maybe there wasn't a problem, right? And all of a sudden, the man comes home and expresses himself like, oh, there is a man, oh, there's a lady that brings food, two of us they eat, oh, and possibly Mommy Z, possibly, let me just play the devil's advocate, knows that this man will like food. They go carry food, carry this man away. Let me do whatever I have to do to save my home. And she did that, and it works for her. For some persons, it's not a big deal. So just do what works for you. But if there is a raising of the eyebrow in an unusual way, everybody should pay attention.
Yeah, do what works for you. But personally, I think if you're not going to eat the food, just tell her, do not bother to cook. Because why would you put someone through
That's
that
what I'm talking
stress,
about, an ideal home.
at the end of the day, you now say you're not going to eat. You eat it. We're going to, you know what they call...
You know where I started?
You know what they call...
That's where I started on that part. Let married people talk about this issue.
You still have to throw that jab. But it's fine.
Thank you
it's
for
okay.
your time today.
Thank you for your time, people. I and Femi will sort it out behind the scene on this one that I just did right now.
No,
this
I'm
one
just saying the obvious.
is marriage shaming me live on air. All right. Thank you for being a part of our world. We'll make a return tomorrow for another interesting edition. And no thanks to Femi Ojo for coming on board, but thanks to you for watching. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. I will see you tomorrow.
All right.
Why can't they do Grand Prix now?
Yeah, bye.